My name is Joseph Munyaneza. I'm with the United States Department of Agriculture Research Service. I'm stationed in Yakima, Washington. My main assignment is to work on insect vectoring potato diseases. So I've been involved with Zebra Chip for the past, since 2005, when few people were working on it. So my program is heavily focused on Zebra Chip. As a matter of fact, more than 95% of my time is spent on Zebra Chip, trying to study the disease, epidemiology, transmission, and especially the insect which is associated with this disease. Now, for the past season, we have conducted a bunch of projects. We conducted a few projects, and I'm going to be specifically talking about a couple of those, which I had to present during this Zebra Chip session. So one of them is to look at the impact of late infection, Zebra Chip late infection in how it affects stored potatoes. This is particularly important for the Pacific Northwest, where plants tend to be infected very late in the season. And so if they get infected late in the season, most of the time the tubers do not show symptoms when you harvest them, but what's going to happen when you put them in storage? So we did an experiment where we kind of artificially inoculated these plants 1 and 2 weeks before harvest, and then we put them in storage like a grower would do, and then every month we put potatoes and we score them for Zebra Chip. And it was very interesting to find out that indeed Zebra Chip can develop in storage, at least in some of varieties. We've seen, like in some varieties, Zebra Chip will develop within a couple of months. So that's not a good thing, because for people up in the Pacific Northwest, storing potatoes up to 10 months. So you can imagine putting your potatoes in the storage clean, and then when you go to pull them out, they're infected. So we have to look into details about this. We need to kind of pinpoint accurately what's going on, variety-wise, and so growers can be prepared to know what's going on, especially when we put this in storage. So the second project I've been working on is to screen for resistance, for Zebra Chip resistance in new breeding lines. So far, we don't have any potato variety resistant to Zebra Chip. So any or currently available varieties of potatoes are susceptible to Zebra Chip. And so if we really want to be sustainable, we have to come up with resistant varieties, which is not an easy thing to do. So for the past 3 years, I've been working with a few actually main potato breeders here in the United States, and so far we have screened about over 150 advanced breeding line to see if we can identify some of the any line which may have resistance to Zebra Chip, because this is the key. So over the past 3 years, like I said, we have looked at over 150 clones, and the good news is that out of these 150, we have identified about a dozen of breeding lines which seem to be promising, and they seem to have, to some degree, they seem to be resistant to Zebra Chip. Let's say they are tolerant to the disease. So we are continuing to look into this, more deep studies to see if we can conclusively determine that these lines are resistant or tolerant, and then figure out what's the mechanism of tolerance which we can use to develop new potato varieties which are resistant to the disease, and which I think is the key to sustainability if we're going to contain this terrible disease.